Let's talk about growing carrots. Not just any carrots, but let's talk about growing big carrots. Hi everybody. This week we're talking about a 5-point plan to grow big carrots, and it's really simple. We're going to talk about your soil, seed spacing and germination, thinning part 1, thinning part 2, and harvesting. I mean, this really is one of my favorite vegetables to grow because it is so easy, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, so stick around for that. 75% of the work that we have to do for successful gardening is ensuring that our soil is healthy. Start with good soil. If you're not already composting your grass cuttings and your leaves in your backyard, begin now. If you don't have access to good quality compost, purchase some good quality composted cow manure and amend your garden beds with that to begin with, and then immediately start composting. Step 2, seed spacing and germination, and this is what really gets beginning gardeners because the carrot seed is so small and it's so light, and you think, if I plant this too shallow, it's just going to blow away. If I plant it too deep, there's no way this thing is going to come up. Let me take you through exactly how I plant carrot seeds. You are going to get fantastic germination no matter what. And if you're really concerned about germination, I've got an extra tip for you that will alleviate all of those concerns. So let me bring you in really close. We'll show you exactly how we do this. I'm going to be growing another row of carrots right here. You can see I have one row growing right here. We'll talk about that row in just a few minutes when we get to part 1 of trimming. But before I put any seeds down, before I do anything, I do a good watering of the soil, and I want these seeds to adhere really well. When I put them down, I want that soil to be moist so that they're accepted into this soil, they're attached to the soil, and they're not going anywhere. So I'm just going to take my hose and give it a good watering on the shower setting. And I don't know, I'll do this for probably 2 or 3 minutes. Make sure that all the way down, maybe a ½ an inch or so, we've got good moisture level in the soil. The next step we're going to take is we're just going to make a little trench for us to drop these seeds in. You can use a trowel like this, and don't worry, I'm going to bring you in really close and show you exactly what I'm doing here, but you can use a trowel and do it like that. You can use your hand and just do it like that. Let me bring you in really close, show you exactly what I'm doing, and don't be afraid you're going to go too deep. I'm going to go down a ½ inch to an inch deep with my little trench that I'm going to be dropping these seeds into. Okay, you can see how deep I'm going here with that trench. Probably more than ½ an inch, but do not be afraid to go deep with your carrot seeds. They will germinate. If you want large carrots, you have to give the carrots room to grow. In other words, if you have 2 carrot seeds that are planted an inch apart, and you don't thin those out, those 2 carrots will grow to about a ½ an inch each, to an inch in diameter each, and then they will begin to crowd each other out, and they're not going to get any bigger. They're going to be tiny little spindly carrots because we didn't give them room to grow. So we'll eventually go back and thin these carrots out so that we can grow them for size. But when we first do our germination, or first do our seed spacing, all we're looking to do is drop 2 to 3 seeds every inch or so. And it's okay if we overseed. We're going to come back later and we're going to thin these out to size, which is what we're going to talk about next. But to begin with, sprinkle 2 or 3 seeds every couple of inches all the way down your trench, just like this. We've cut our seeds in, and all we have to do now is just push our trench walls over just like that and tap it down. You've got nice moist soil and those seeds in there, and those seeds are going to germinate. Now, suppose you're concerned. You say, just not so sure. I don't think my soil is going to hold that moisture. No problem. I've got a tip for you. You can take a piece of untreated lumber. This is a piece of cedar that I had in my garage. And you can place it over the area that you planted your seeds. Now, you'd obviously need a much bigger piece of wood. This will keep the moisture down in that soil. You come out every day or two and check, and once you see those seedlings start to come up, you take your wood plank off. I have never needed to do this. I just come out every couple of days. I take my spray hose if I don't have my soaker hoses in my bed, and I just spray the top down and let it soak in. And I always get great germination rates. But if you're concerned, use that wood plank method, alleviate all those concerns about germination you might have. We said if we want big carrots, we can't have those seedlings growing right next to each other because they'll crowd themselves out, and they'll be long, spindly carrots that once you've peeled them, there's nothing left. So you don't want that. You want big carrots, right? So if you have 2 carrots that are this big, you need those seedlings that far apart. So let me bring you in really close and I'll show you how we do phase 1 and phase 2 thinning. Basically what I'm doing is I'm using my hand just like this to space my carrots out. And what I want for phase 1 is I want 2 to 3 seedlings in a group in this spacing of 3 to 4 inches apart. So I would not do any more thinning out here. I would leave those till they get a little bit bigger. And the reason is, if you go to pull these out now, you have a chance that you might damage these other seedlings, and then you'd be left with nothing in this area. So 2 to 3 seedlings in this group, and I'd say, okay, that looks good. I'll come back in a couple more weeks and I'll thin those out when those plants are a little bit stronger, down to 1 in each clump. There is my next group. So I'm not going to do any thinning right now here, but over here I can do some thinning. So where's my next group? My next group is going to be right over here somewhere. So I can thin that one out. I can thin that one out. And I'm going to leave this group there and that group there. And I'll leave these for 2 to 3 weeks. When these get stronger, I'll come back for phase 2 thinning and I'll thin those out to 1. And I'll just keep doing that all the way down my bed for phase 1 and phase 2. Start with good soil, water that soil, dig a little trench, overseed those carrots, cover that trench up, come back and water every couple of days. Before you know it, 1 week or 2, you're going to have tons of carrots coming up. Go then in and do your phase 1 and phase 2 thinning. Come out every couple of weeks, water those plants, and you are going to have a fantastic carrot harvest of big, healthy carrots. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a comment below. It really helps with the channel. And if you're not a subscriber, consider hitting that subscribe button. I'll see you next week.